Welcome friends at a greasy shop rag. The virus has still got me at home, so I've been doing some DIY. Today I was going to go out and replace the posts on my front porch, but it's windy, rainy, and about 40 degrees out there, so I'm going to do some inside work. And one of the projects on my list is to replace the garage doors. So these doors have been on the house forever, I suppose, and it was just due. So let's go out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there's my old doors. This is old school, but as you can see, there's a window knocked out of each side, each door. Believe it or not, I knocked those windows out. There was a time when I had no other access to the house but to come through the garage, and for whatever reason the electric, maybe the power was out or the garage door wasn't plugged in, or the opener maybe, I don't know. But I actually smashed the window out myself so that I could reach in and grab the release rope and open a door on 2 occasions. You know, what's the logic here? Do you smash the second window in the first door and then have one with 2 black eyes? Or do you kind of keep it symmetrical? Anyway, they're going away. We got new doors. But before I do the doors, I got to do something with my rafters here. These are just 2x4s running across, and they're butted in the middle. Each one has got these plywood supports stapled to them to make one longer board. Here you can see I removed the plywood, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 2x4 starting right here where I have some support. Run a 2x4 across all the way to that side, because these are actually sagging. This one's not bad, but some of them down the line are sagging maybe a full inch. And before I will hang my new garage doors, I want to make sure that the supports for all the rails are squared up and even. And if I ever want to put some drywall up there and insulate it, I need that support anyway. So that's what we're up to today. Hey, look at that. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Well, if I hold this board flush on both ends, I got a 1/2 inch drop in the middle here. So on the ones that I could actually see the sag in it, they might have more than 1 inch. All right, there's probably 10 different ways I could have done this, but you've got to pick something and go with it. So I started by running a bunch of screws into my 2x4, and the plan is to keep it flush across the bottom on one of them and then jack up the other side and then run the rest of the screws in. So let's see how that works for me. I don't know how annoying that was on video, but it was really annoying for me. My little impact driver doesn't have the nuts it's going to need to do this job. The 2x4 is flush across the bottom on that half. There's where the split would be. But look how far it's hanging down on this end. So there's a definite sag in the middle. We're going to try and get rid of that. All right, we're going to go for a little walk up the ladder. There we go. So here's a better look. We're flush across the bottom now. You can see here's where our seam would have been. Right there. I don't know why they got such a wide gap on this one. But we're now nice and square. And I'm sure plenty strong. I like that. That's going to make a big difference. All right, 1 down, 9 to go. All right, let's do another one. I removed the original, well, I don't know what you call it, the piece that connected those two 2x4s together. That's a nasty looking thing, ain't it? You don't want to step on that. Riveting entertainment, I'm sure. I'm trying to find a way to get you guys in closer. I'm not sure how to do that. Maybe we can get you set up where the action is. I don't like doing this overhead work over my Harley. I also don't like parking it outside in the rain for a day if I don't have to. Not that I haven't done it before, but all right, first thing I want to do, I'm flush here where I ran one screw in already. Now I want to get flush right here. Like that. Lock in the hubs and drop her in low range. Give her. That might work. If you don't fall. Just don't move and you'll be okay. Man, there's an inch right here between the bottom of this 2x4 and the bottom of this rafter. Again, the screws are 3 1/8 inch long, and you're going through 3 inches of wood. So don't be an idiot where you put your hand. A carpenter, I am not. Okay, it's never easy. Let's take a look at this next one. Anyway, I have to remove this piece of wood. The rail for the garage door opener runs right next to this one, so we're going to work on this side. If you've been watching my crappy ass videos for a while, you'll realize that I'm branching out with this one with multiple camera angles and what have you, instead of just standing in front of a toolbox or whatever. So I got that going for me. So this is actually being filmed after I filmed the end of the video. But I wanted to throw it in there because it better shows you what I'm trying to accomplish here. Take a look at the angle we're dealing with here. I mean, This beam is supported. This beam hasn't been supported yet. And you can see that there's a good inch difference in the height. It's amazing how stuff will sit right in the open and you just forget about it because you don't use it that often. How many of you have a tire changer hanging from a pulley in the ceiling? You know, I got a couple other little obstacles to work around here. Some wiring nightmares. The guy that owned this house before me, he was an electrician in his own mind. I have outlets that had 110 on one side and 220 on the other side. And then next to it would be an outlet with 110 and 12 volt. He had a transformer set up and some of the stuff wired. I think he was a ham radio operator and he must have been using some mobile equipment. So I kind of had to sort through that and just make everything 110. All right. Not all of these are going together as, you notice I had to stop and look at the bike. They're not all going together as easy as the first few. The closer I get to the middle of the garage, the more it takes to push the supports up into place. You know, there's just that much more sag as I move along. Let me back up here to the one we were working on a minute ago. I'm happy to report that no F-bombs were dropped in the installation of that support. You can see it's an old garage, but part of this roof here I had replaced a few years back. There were some bad shingles and water damage. We got that squared away. And I talked about replacing my garage doors because, you know, I popped the lock here on the left side. But that's what I've been up to here during this coronavirus lockdown. I'm just happy I've got my health enough that I can climb this ladder and do these kind of things, you know. Not everyone's as fortunate as that. Thanks for watching. Later.